Hi there, everyone. Firstly, thank you for providing me with this fantastic opportunity today. I'm really excited to be sharing my research that I conducted at the University of Leeds in my final year, where I investigated the effect of dance on risk factors associated with falls in older adults. So why should we study falls? So in the UK and globally, the population is aging rapidly. And with an increase in age comes an increased risk of a fall. For example, 30% of adults aged over 60 and above, and 50% of adults aged over 70 and above fall at least once a year. And now this is a massive problem as it can cause injury and a reduced confidence, quality of life, and physical functioning. So it must be addressed. But research has identified some modifiable risk factors that can increase a risk of a fall. So we need to target them. Another evidence is starting to show that dancing might be a mechanism to reduce these risk factors. And also older adults seem to really enjoy it. So based on that, my research project, I recruited 35 adults aged 55 and above from areas across Yorkshire in England. And they all engaged in a 12-week mixed genre dance intervention within their community. So the dancing could be adapted to meet the participant needs, so they could sit down, stand up, or do a mixture of both. But every session included a warm-up, a main body, and a cool-down. Now, the research identified that poor balance and mobility and certain walking characteristics can increase the risk of a fall. So I measured those outcome measures using the quantitative timed up and go test, also known as the Q-TUG. And I did this before and after the intervention. So the Q-TUG test involves timing how long it takes participants to stand from a chair, walk 3 minutes, turn around, walk back and sit back down. And that allowed me to measure their balance and mobility. And whilst they were doing that test, I also placed sensors on the participants' shins, and that allowed me to look at their walking and their characteristics of walking. So based on all of this, here are my results. So the grey colour is before the intervention and the yellow colour is after the intervention. And on the top left, we have time. So this is how long it took for participants to complete the Q-TUG test. And we can see that they got significantly faster, which means their balance and mobility significantly improved, and that means their risk for fall also reduced. Now in the graph on the right, we have a walking characteristic called average double support. And this is the proportion when walking of how long they spend with both feet in contact with the ground. So we can see that the proportion of contact with the ground with both feet significantly reduced after the intervention, which means their risk of a fall also reduced. Finally, at the bottom, we have another walking characteristic called average stride length. And this is how long a step they take. Now, at the start of the intervention, I thought they'd go from a shuffling step, so a small step, to a normal stride, so they increase in their stride length. But this wasn't the case, and they didn't change. But it may be due to the fact that in the dancing, there was a lot of sideways movements and balancing on one leg, but they didn't necessarily have the opportunity to take a step forwards to practice that. But nonetheless, the research was really positive, with 2 out of 3 outcome measures improving. So I can conclude that the 12-week mixed genre dance intervention is an effective method for some modifiable risk factors to reduce the risk of a fall. Now, this has been a whistle-stop tour, and my project is part of a much larger project, and the bigger project looked at other outcome measures such as the physical and psychological benefits of dance. And from that, we were able to make a 3-minute short film that I'm really excited to share with you. And that should provide more context about what the dance looked like, and we'll also hear from the participants themselves. So I'll go and play that now.
the music, I like all the jiggling about.
I'm saying that I love all the people that are all happy and smiling.
What we learn here, we could do it at home. Easy. But it's still not the same because you have everybody.
That's right. That's right.
Fun. Enjoyable, energetic.
It's like a little family.
It is, yes, we've just got to know each other so well, haven't we?
But I like this wiggling about, you know. This is what I want to do. Is
I can't keep still.
this loose, you know.
And now I can stand on one leg for a few seconds. And I didn't do that before, as I've been practicing. But I like music, I like movement, I like people.
How could we forget the instructors?
No, we can't forget
Perfect
them.
instructors.
They're all good.
You all have the right moves for us.
Yes.
So
And
yes,
it's another
very
thing,
happy
we
about
wish we could get it all year round. Honestly.
We should have it twice a week.
And more. That's what I
it also bring back memories. You know, it's like living the days now.
And he takes you back with our old songs, you know.
I always said as well that I'm not treated like an old lady, and that's something that's really important because I'm not an old lady. In my head, I'm not an old lady.
Yeah, the music, you think, well, I want to move.
Yeah.
And it's been amazing. And now it's 6 months later and I can stand up and dance something.
But I can see that I'm walking better, and I can stand a bit longer as well.
Come to dance, in your blue suede shoes.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So I really hope that provided you a bit more of an insight into my project. And I want to say thank you again for this opportunity, and thank you to all the participants, my supervisor, Dr. Laura Britton, and everyone else involved in the project. I'm more than happy to answer any questions, or please do feel free to contact me after. Thank you.
Brilliant, Emily. Thank you very much. And the uplifting video is very much appreciated. Hayley has a question for you. She asks, do you think that you could expand the study to also look at the effects of mental health? It seems like there could be significant improvements in that regard.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely agree with that. As part of a bigger project, they were looking at subjective well-being and happiness and depression. So there's definitely more scope for that. And I think it's a really interesting area of how dance might be able to help older adults with that, and reducing loneliness as well is such a big problem. So hopefully in the future we can look at that.